Diamonds are forever, but diamond values are not. So let's talk about the state of the industry right now, because lab diamonds are changing everything. The jewelry industry, which is deeply rooted in tradition and the value of natural materials, is evolving with technological advancements. And in my 22 years in the jewelry industry, I have never seen such seismic shifts as I have in the last few years when it comes to lab-grown diamonds. I mean, this has been incredibly fascinating to watch. And I believe that with every technological advancement, it's about staying informed and adaptable. And some people love technology, while others, they prefer to keep things old school. But as with most technology, there's eventually a crossover to some degree. I mean, even people who were originally sticking their feet in the ground for natural diamonds, they are making some movement towards at least seeing where and how lab diamonds can have a place in the market. For example, some people love the idea of an engagement ring with a lab grown, while other people have told me they prefer to have a natural diamond for their engagement ring specifically, since it was grown in the earth billions of years ago. Yes, billions. And they're okay with lab diamonds for other jewelry, such as earrings and necklaces. But let me know in the comments what your take on this is, because I'm genuinely curious what your preference is. The thing about technology is sometimes it takes time for people to come around, similar to how digital newspapers versus actual printed paper, or reading a book on a Kindle versus an actual book. It takes people some time, but other people, they just like holding it in their hands, and they found the digital way to be helpful sometimes, but they still want to feel something in their hands. You know, even GIA, they tried to go all digital for their lab reports, and then there was this backlash because people prefer to hold an actual grade report when they're spending thousands of dollars on a diamond. So then GIA decided to continue printing the paper report. You know, one of the scariest scenarios being talked about amongst jewelers right now is that lab-grown diamonds will speed up the end of desire for all diamonds within these next generations. I mean, this is going to be the first generation that has not grown up hearing the De Beers "A Diamond is Forever" campaign. They weren't taught to love them the same way that marketing taught previous generations. And this is also the first generation to see huge diamonds at such a low price point. I mean, are they even still special? And is it going to make them feel special? Because there's nothing really to even want to upgrade to in the future after 20 years if you're already starting out with a 3 or 4 carat on your finger. Ultimately, whether lab diamonds are for you or natural diamonds, diamond curation, it's key when it comes to a meaningful diamond ring. I mean, using expert advice to your advantage, because this is her engagement ring. I mean, not all diamonds are the same, even if they have the same specs on the grade report. And you know, an interesting factor that may come out of the introduction of lab-grown diamonds may very well be a change in perception for what a diamond even represents. You know, in years past, people associated large diamonds with high monetary value. It's something to aspire to wear one day. And that perception is shifting, with many more larger carat colorless diamonds being worn by women in their 20s and 30s. And also because the value, often women would only wear 3, 4, or 5 carat diamonds for special events. And now, with the price point being lower and lower, women don't hold them up on a pedestal like they used to. Many believe jewelry primarily acts as a beautiful adornment and powerful representation of love and life and relationships. And as lab prices come down, clients are able to invest more into their setting with this meaning behind it, you know, making it less about the diamond and more about the experience of creating and crafting an amazing ring. The couples who come to me to make their ring, they're looking for something incredible and that's made just for them, and it's going to endure as a reminder of this key moment in their life. And it doesn't really matter whether it's a natural or a lab diamond, because I'm going to make it incredible either way. I've been making videos on YouTube since 2010 highlighting the impact of a well-made custom ring, showing how you can create a far more personalized, high-quality ring than mass-manufactured pre-made designs. And oh, if you're curious about the particular reason why I had to start making videos, I do talk about it on my previous video, 2 best tips for buying a diamond ring online. I'll link to that video in the description below. So in the past, I only spoke about natural diamonds, and now there are 2 types. So as much as I'm fascinated by new technology, with an interest in geology, it's impossible to ignore my appreciation for natural diamonds simply because of where they come from. I mean, the conditions under which they were created and the geologic timeline they require, and ultimately what they become. And you know, they usually look extremely unassuming, but once they're faceted, They are gorgeous pieces of natural art, truly a mix of the perfect conditions and the right chemical ingredients. And just because natural and lab grown face up in a similar or identical fashion, they come from very different origins. I simply arm my clients with a choice and then have an honest and open discussion about all the pros and cons with lab grown so that they can make a confident decision for their personal situation. I always say that I will make a beautiful piece of jewelry no matter what type of diamond it is. I make beautiful things that are worn and treasured. And I've heard some argue that nobody cares about quality when it's just a solitaire, but let me put a rest to that. There are solitaires and then there are solitaires. And I've made several videos explaining the specific ways I make a pave solitaire diamond just incredibly unique. And I'm gonna list those in the description below. But for example, what would make a pave solitaire unique from a typical solitaire are just these streamlined and graceful comfort fit curves of the shank and the carefully shaped claw prongs that I hand sculpt to mimic the facets of the center diamond so they aren't as noticeable, which then allows your eye to focus primarily on the sparkle of the diamonds. Oh, and also the low to finger height for practical everyday wear, because we want to raise it up high enough to look amazing, yes, but not unnecessarily high that it catches on things or snags on our clothing or scratches our face. The fact is, this industry sabotaged itself by turning the ring into just a placeholder for a stone made as cheaply as possible under mass manufactured conditions, instead of focusing on the piece as a whole and how it's going to remain wearable as an heirloom for years rather than falling apart. So what do you think? Let me know your opinion in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. You know, in my experience, many couples are ring shopping together, and now it's just part of the conversation whether or not to go with a lab or a natural, because depending on the ages of the couple, the time of marriage often comes with other large financial choices to make, such as graduate school or house hunting or wedding planning and potentially kids if they're in the near future. I mean, there are lots of variables to base this decision on. If you're looking for a diamond ring, whether it's lab or natural, feel free to reach out to my studio at vanessanicole.com. I would love to learn more about what you're looking to create. And as a diamond setter, it doesn't matter to me which one you choose, because I'm gonna make a gorgeous ring for it either way here. And if you like this video, you thought it was helpful, I sure would appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, since that's going to tell YouTube that this is something that people should watch before getting a custom ring. You know, this channel, it honors meaningful relationships and creativity and just an appreciation for the time it takes to achieve fine craftsmanship through beautiful artistry. And by watching these videos here, binge watching them, you're gonna surround yourself with these uplifting values that encourage excellence. And if those ideals resonate with you, definitely subscribe and leave a comment below saying hi. And in the meantime, I'm wishing for you a beautiful rest of the day. All right, take care, bye.